Hi everyone, my name's Gemma Redmond and I'm the owner of Gemma Redmond Vintage. I'm here today to share with you some recent additions to the Gemma Redmond Vintage collection. All these pieces will be being added to the website from next week, but if you'd like to find out more about any of them in the meantime, please do get in touch and I can provide you with further details, and I can also provide you with images too. You're welcome to make a purchase as well if you wish to do so. So let's get started. I have 8 pieces to share with you today, all quite colourful and interesting. So I'll begin by showing you my earrings. As you can see, these earrings are a lovely grassy green colour. That's because they are constructed from galalith, which is very often found in this shade of green. Galalith is an early form of plastic and dates most often the pieces you find made of galalith date from the Art Deco era, and that's when these earrings date from. You can see that the galalith has been moulded with a floral design and forms this lovely elegant lozenge shape which hangs really stylishly either side of your head. It frames your face really nicely. I'll put my hair up so you can have a closer look at the size and scale of them and see how they hang. These earrings are a screw back mechanism fastening and the screw backs are silver. I'll just undo them so you can have a closer look, and hopefully if I hold them up you can also see the floral moulding on these earrings, which is really pretty indeed and perfect for summer. These are the screw backs and they're lovely and secure too. Okay, next let's move on to an earlier piece. This piece dates from the Victorian era, probably mid to late 1800s, and it's a wonderful example of a garnet brooch. The garnets in this piece are all hand cut and, as you can see, shimmer beautifully. They're all really juicy and deep burgundy red garnet colours. At the centre here we have almost a 4-leaf clover like design in the middle with larger garnets, then smaller garnets in a pave setting style around the outside of the clover, and then a lovely border of big chunky garnets. It really is a great piece, very statement. On the reverse you can see it has an early tube hinge and a C-clasp fastening, and the fastening pin is nice and strong and works well too. I'll just hold the brooch up so you get an idea of the scale of it. It could be worn at the top of a buttoned up shirt as I'm holding it here, or on a lapel perhaps, or at the base of a V-neck too. Next, let's move on back forwards in time, to the Art Deco era again. This is a really stylish and beautifully coloured celluloid bangle. This bangle, as I mentioned, dates from the 1920s, and the celluloid is all hand painted in shades of black, gold and a lovely vibrant, almost luminous pink, and I think these shapes are intended to resemble leaves. I'll just pop it on so you can see the size. Again, this would work for someone with a larger wrist as a bangle intended to be worn lower down the arm, or it would work worn up the arm here, perhaps with a lovely sleeveless maxi dress for a summer's evening. Okay, next let's move on to another pair of earrings. These earrings are a great unsigned piece. They probably date from the 1980s, and they feature a floral design set with blue, red, green and colourless rhinestones. These earrings, the clips out on the back of the earrings are quite high up, so some of the earrings extend lower than the ear and frame the face in a really nice effect. I'll clip these in so you can see how they work. They are a real unsigned beauty and are really nicely constructed too. There we go. So you can see how the floral design works, going down towards the cheekbones and framing your face. There we go. Next, I'll keep these on for the moment. Next, we have a really interesting and rare piece. This is an antique brooch, and the antique brooch, it's constructed from rolled gold, and it's set with 3 beetles. These beetles are not imitation, these beetles are real beetles which have been set into the jewel. Very often people refer to them as scarabs. They are intended to resemble scarabs, however they are not scarab beetles, these are tortoise beetles, and they were chosen for the jewellery because of the iridescence of the little bodies. It was quite a trend in the Victorian era to incorporate insects in jewellery, real insects in jewellery. So this brooch is most likely either late Victorian or early 20th century. The reason it could be early 20th century is because it was a trend to use these scarab-like beetles in jewellery design of the 1920s because of the Egyptian revival movement, because they resembled the scarab motifs seen in hieroglyphics and tomb walls, etc. So it was a tribute to the designs of ancient Egypt, the art of ancient Egypt, to wear these scarab-like beetles in your jewellery. So as you can see, it's easy to see why they were chosen for jewels, because of their iridescence. The little bodies, however, are very delicate, as I'm sure you can imagine, so it's very unusual for pieces with these tortoise beetles in them to survive. It is therefore quite a rare brooch indeed. On the reverse, you can see it has a lovely fastening pin and fastens with a C catch too. The mounts are open backed as well, so you can see the undersides of the beetles too, which is quite interesting as well. This is, as I mentioned, a real collector's piece perhaps, or some perfect for somebody with a general interest in the history of jewellery. It's a really fascinating design and piece. Next, let's move on to a necklace. I'll just unclip these earrings so I don't knock them out when I put the necklace on. This is a really beautiful and vibrant piece. It dates from the 1950s and was perhaps made in Italy. It features turquoise glass beads in a lovely plaited, twisted design, which forms a really stylish and elegant collar when worn. It fastens with a lovely gilded box clasp too, which has this floral detailing on it as well. I'll just unclip it and we can have a closer look at it on. So, as you can see, it's very straightforward to fasten because of the box clasp. It's quite a short design, so it sits quite high on the neck. But the turquoise colours in this piece make a really stylish statement. and I love turquoise. I think it goes with that, even though it's a real pop of colour. It just seems to work well with anything. You can see the plaited design really effectively here when it's worn too. Okay, next let's move on to a 1920s accessory. This is again a very rare piece and a very interesting piece. This is from the Art Deco era, probably circa 1920, and it's French. It's a really elegant French evening bag. The body of the bag and the handle of the bag, as you can see, are constructed from a black silk. However, the clasp of the bag is the real feature here. This is constructed from celluloid, and it's moulded with some geishas who are holding mirrors and combs, and you can see the kimonos of the geishas extend right through from the top here round the sides of the bag. At the top here, in the centre here, you can see there is a plant pot motif, and it's that motif which shows where the clasp is. So I'll just push it. Here we go. So when you push it, it opens the bag, and you can see inside it's stamped here Déposé and also made in France underneath here too. And it's stamped with this on both sides of the bag. Examples of celluloid frames for evening bags from France are exceptionally collectible and come in a variety of interesting designs, some rarer than others. This is a particularly interesting and rare design. Finally, let's move on to a piece from the Art Nouveau period. This is a lovely horn brooch. It's a horn dragonfly, and as well as being constructed from horn, the details on the wings and the body of the insect have all been hand painted in shades of turquoise and blue and brown. It has a lovely iridescence to it, I'm sure you'll agree, and you can see the light, when the light passes through it, it gives a really nice effect. Very similar to the wings of a dragonfly, that sort of gossamer texture. On the reverse, you can see there's a lovely strong fastening pin again with a C clasp. So this dates from circa 1900. And again, you can see that it looks lovely worn against white, perhaps for summer too, and it's a really nice size, not too statement either. The nice thing about this piece as well is that it comes with its original box. So this box dates to circa 1900 too, and it was sold by Maison Paul Meier, and this was in Ostend in Belgium. Okay, that's my selection of pieces to share with you this week. Let's just recap what we have. We have the 1950s turquoise glass bead plaited collar necklace. This wonderful Art Nouveau Belgian horn dragonfly brooch. These really pretty silver and galalith earrings, detailed with floral designs. They date from the Art Deco era, from circa 1920. These lovely 1980s floral rhinestone earrings. This Art Deco era celluloid frame evening bag. This Art Deco era celluloid bangle. This lovely Victorian juicy garnet 4-leaf clover brooch. And this wonderful, rare and interesting tortoise beetle, dating from the late Victorian era or the turn of the 20th century. Okay, that's my selection of pieces to share with you this week. Thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.